All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for being here and logging on. If people trickle in after this, no problem. I'm really excited that so many of you are taking the time to join me today to talk about our programs. I took a look at the registration list and saw a lot of our agent partners and friends sign up, as well as some new names and new faces. Again, I appreciate everyone's time. I know everyone's busy. I'm Joe Heineman. I'm a senior business development manager here at NSM. And our theme of the webinar is March Madness, right? So it's March. If you're a sports fanatic like me, March Madness is just around the corner. I know some conference tournaments have actually completed. Some are this weekend, a ton of great games on the schedule, and some teams already punched their ticket to the dance. So if there's one thing you know about us and our programs is that our specialty programs are extremely competitive, as am I, right? No one likes to lose. I know you guys don't like to lose. So of course we wanted to educate you all on how you can score more, no pun intended, but score more accounts and renewals with our best in class programs. So if you already do business with us in some capacity, this is a great opportunity to learn how we can help you build your book even more and spread your wings in more verticals. If you're new to us, new to NSM, you're going to get a pretty comprehensive picture on what we bring to the table and how we can help you win on a number of fronts. Just a few housekeeping things. Everyone's muted. Please keep yourself muted. I don't even know if you have the ability to unmute yourself. We're going to send this recording out in the next few days and all the slides. So, take notes if you can, but just so you know, this will be sent out to everybody. And there is a questions box. If you have questions for any of our programs, I'll answer those questions. We do have a Q&A time slot at the end of the presentation. But if you do have questions and you don't want to forget, just lob them in the questions box and I'll try to answer all of them when we get to that time. So just a little bit about me and my background. I've spent my entire insurance career thus far in the specialty insurance world. So program insurance business specifically. Prior to my life at NSM, I was in the franchise auto dealer vertical. So I was a producer for about 3 years. Before that, I was on the underwriting side of the house. All that to say, I understand what you guys have to deal with on a day-to-day, right? So whether you're prospecting, cold calling, door knocking, talking with underwriters, carriers, MGAs, wholesalers, it's a lot, right? And I respect and I appreciate what you guys do. Our goal and mission here at NSM is to make your life easier, right? So I want you guys to say, hey, it's really easy to do business with Joe Heineman and NSM and all of those programs. Let's continue to learn from each other, fight for each other. My one big thing is let's not be discouraged by any one particular account, right? We're not going to win every deal, but like I said, let's continue to partner with each other and keep moving forward. So we do have a special drawing. Here we go. So we do have a special drawing, right? And it's important to note that you do need to stay on the full webinar to have a chance at winning three 65-inch 4K flat screen TVs just in time to watch all the March Madness games. So there will be three lucky winners. To clarify, there's not going to be one potential winner for three TVs, right? So three separate winners. Hope you guys win. I'm not in the running, so don't think it's rigged if my name got pulled. My name's not in the hat. So our marketing department, Mary Kate McGuire, will be sending out the winners here in a few days. So good luck to all, and we wanted to do this as an appreciation for joining today. All right, so the agenda today, the good stuff. So here's a snapshot of what we will go through. We'll start with a quick overview of NSM, who we are, who our programs are. And it's going to be jam-packed with a ton of information, right? So we're going to throw in some trivia. We're going to go through our programs, insight for some of our agents, why and how to partner with us, and then again the Q&A session. So it's going to be moving quickly. Again, appreciate your time, but want to be respectful to your time as well. So we anticipate that this presentation is going to be, 40, 45 minutes or so, with some Q&A, and then we'll get you back to your day. So first off, let's talk about NSM, and here we go. So for those of you who are not familiar with NSM, right, NSM has been the leader when it comes to specialty insurance for the past 35 plus years. We have just over 2.5 billion in gross written premium, which we are very proud of, and we're looking to grow even more. And we've built our business by building productive relationships with you guys on the call and our other agents across the country, fueling their continued success. I mean, you guys and gals on the call, your success is our success. We work with roughly 20,000 agents coast to coast, and we're constantly innovating to meet the needs of you and meet the needs of your insureds and your clients. We all know in this insurance business that the marketplace is always shifting, it's evolving, it's pivoting, and I can confidently say that we have the best underwriters in the business, and they understand that, and that's important. When you work with us, we want to do everything in our power to support you, providing best-in-class coverage and service, market insights from our data analytics team to help you identify trends to keep you in front of the curve, and also provide you with powerful risk management resources and a whole lot more. So super excited you're here. There was some news in late February, and you guys might have, some of you on the call might have read this or have seen this on LinkedIn or other outlets. So, as of late February, NSM B2B programs, which are the programs we're talking about today, has a new equity partner, New Mountain Capital. So New Mountain Capital, extremely well-respected investment firm that aligns perfectly with our vision to continue growing our programs, the niches we serve, and how we can support you guys, our agent partners, right? So we're very excited to have them on board. As far as the day-to-day operations and day-to-day, workflow from you guys, nothing's going to change, right? This does not change the programs that you all have grown to work with and love. All this will do is bring on more products, bring on more carriers and programs to offer you guys to sell and to help grow your book. So very exciting times ahead. We can't be more thankful for New Mountain to be with us on this journey. So as I've mentioned, niche markets are our specialty, right? So school buses, nonprofits, sports, condos, construction, tow trucks, or the list goes on. And these are the logos of the programs that we will be getting into today. It's just a sampling of what we're going to cover. We're going to go through some detail, but I encourage everyone to visit our website at nsm.com to really get kind of granular with specific programs if you have specific interest in any one program. Again, that's nsminc.com. You can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So first on the list will be our ATP program, right? So ATP, which focuses on behavioral health businesses and addiction treatment centers. This program is ran by Krista Mays up in our Philadelphia office. So here we go. So behavioral health, huge sector that's seeing a ton of growth, right? And more people need and seek out treatment and recovery services, and we're going to continue to see that trend year over year. ATP was built to fill a gap in the market and has been a leader in this space for 20 plus years, been doing it a long time. We offer what other markets don't in this space. ATP offers comprehensive multi-line package coverages, including the GL, sexual and physical abuse, commercial auto, property, and umbrella. And when I was talking to Krista Mays about the program, one of the key differentiators from a coverage perspective for ATP, and something that many of our competition or competitors don't offer, is primary professional liability for physicians and psychiatrics. So if you're in this space, if you write behavioral health business, you know how important that coverage is. And we want to make sure that you guys are utilizing that coverage benefit of our program as a wedge to win you more deals and to get you more seats at the table. On the right side of this slide, you'll see the classes ATP covers, including addiction treatment facilities, opioid treatment providers and methadone clinics, sober living homes, faith-based treatment programs, gambling addiction programs, and outpatient mental health facilities. ATP, they lead by example as well and is active with leading groups like the National Association of Addiction Treatment Providers, the American Association for the Treatment of Opioid Dependence, and the National Alliance for Recovery Residences. All that to say, we are truly experts in this field. Something important to note, like I said before, in the program business, in the program space of the insurance world, we're always evolving to meet the needs of a changing marketplace. And ATP is actually in the midst of a carrier transition. And some of you may be aware of that, and some of you may not be aware of that. So I wanted to touch on that real quick. The team is preparing for a relaunch with our new carrier that will be announced soon. But I don't want that to hold you guys up for sending, opportunities our way. Why do I say that? Because our team still wants to look at those accounts and document them. And when that relaunch happens, we want to revisit those accounts and see what we can do to help you guys out. So in closing, if you have any behavioral health or addiction treatment accounts, or if this is a growth area you are interested in pursuing, think of Krista Mays and our ATP program. So next is the primary program that I've been tied to since coming on board to NSM, Care Provider Services, which we call CPS. CPS is out of our Dallas and Philly offices with underwriters on the ground in all time zones throughout the country, which is super important. CPS is dedicated exclusively to serving nonprofits and social service organizations that are throughout the community. And this program is headed by Quinn Tran out of our Dallas office, Dallas and Philly offices, excuse me. So let's talk about the appetite really quick. Very broad appetite. You'll see some of the classes listed on the right-hand side. Private and charter schools, churches, and other religious orgs, Head Start programs, home health. The list goes on. The list actually goes on to include 60 plus class types. We have a very, very broad appetite, which is a huge competitive advantage in the marketplace. And we like to say we know nonprofits inside and out, right? We've been doing this and we've been a leader in the space for 25 plus years. And when you think about the businesses we're insuring in this space, these folks are carrying out very important missions throughout our community, and we want to support them. And the proper coverage is very, very critical for them. So let's talk about the product real quick. So CPS offers a full package product, including general liability, the professional liability, abuse and molestation, property, auto, and umbrella. We also have solutions for the ancillary lines. And when I say ancillary lines, think employment practices liability, directors and officers, and cyber if needed. So in addition, our coverage forms for CPS are tailored to meet the needs of each class type that's within our appetite suite, right? So we are really tailoring the coverage to meet the needs of these businesses. Not every one nonprofit is the same, and we want to make sure that they're being taken care of appropriately. So as discussed, our appetite's very large. I think it's important to talk about, where we've been hitting on the most over the last, 12, 18 months, because when you look at our appetite guide, sure, it can be overwhelming. It's great, but you're like, wow, where is CPS good at? So our top 10 classes production wise since the start of last year has been the following: churches and religious orgs, IDD and group home organizations, home health, pregnancy centers, shelters. And when I say shelters, think women's shelters, children's shelters, homeless shelters, charter and private schools, community action agencies, adult and family services, both educational and vocational, Head Start and early Head Start programs, And that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So when we're talking about production, yes, those class types we're producing the most business in, but we don't want that to limit us from seeing opportunities outside of these top 10 classes. So in closing, when you need a partner that truly cares about your nonprofit accounts, religious organizations, churches, social service businesses, think Quintran and Care Provider Services. All right, let's keep plugging along. So shifting gears a little bit, we're going to talk about a few of our transportation programs, starting with KBK, Towing and Garage Insurance. KBK, without a doubt, monster in the marketplace. We are the industry leader for commercial tow truck operators and garage risks. This program is led by Brian Atkinson out of our Dallas and New Orleans offices. So KBK has been dominating the tow market for over 30 years. They write commercial tow operators with 2 or more power units who tow for repair, right? So something I am going to repeat, tow for repair, not repossession and not auto hauling. So we get those questions quite a bit. It needs to be tow for repair. Furthermore, some other popular questions that we get asked, we are not a solution anymore for single truck operators, and we do not consider new ventures regardless of experience at this time. Outside of tow, KBK has a really strong and robust program for garage risks, such as used car and used heavy truck dealerships, repair and body shops. And they also have programs for auto salvage, dismantling, and recycling shops. So let's talk about the product. KBK offers comprehensive coverage for all of these hard to place risks. It's a tough business, right? Coverages include the commercial auto, the GL, the GKLL, so the garage keeper's legal liability, commercial property, tow truck, broad form coverage, the FISDAM, the physical damage, the all important on hook / cargo cover, right? Dealer plates, dealer open lot, commercial inland marine, and workers comp. KBK is truly a powerhouse. When I was talking to Brian Atkinson, and we're good friends, and he told me that, he's heard stories from insureds and potential new business opportunities and insureds that say, hey, where's my KBK quote? They say that to either Brian or they say that to their agent. And that speaks volumes on our program and, what we've been able to do over the last 30 years. And, if you do business in this space and are not currently working with us yet, you definitely need to give us a call, because this program can definitely help you build your book. So when you think of tow trucks and garage opportunities, think Brian Atkinson and KBK. Rolling along here, so going to talk about the next program in our transportation sector. It's one of our newer programs that we're very excited about, School Bus Insurance Solutions, aka SBIS. We love our acronyms in the insurance business. So this program is led by Luis Higgins out of our Texas and NOLA offices. So SBIS is another program built to serve a pretty significant gap in the market. We spotted a demand for a consistent, stable, and reliable insurance partner that agents and their clients can rely on to protect them and keep them ahead of market cycles, right? So we strategically built our program to be able to deliver just that, and we can't be more excited to bring this product to you guys. This is a program a lot of people have been waiting for. We've received feedback over the years about having a school bus program, and again, we can't be more excited to have this product for our partners to get out there and sell. So we leverage an underwriting team with deep commercial auto experience, and SBIS is a market-leading solution for school bus contractors. So let's talk about the appetite because I think this program has every program has a sandbox to operate in, and it's important to know where we can hit on together. So they're looking for school bus contractors with a fleet size of 10 to 200 buses. On the larger side, can be considered on a case by case basis, but from a number perspective, 10 to 200, that's what they're looking to see. They want to see quality opportunities with a good track record and focus on risk management, to avoid losses in the future, right? I don't think any program wants to take on hairy business. And in addition to hairy business, the accounts that are brought into SBIS, they must have a minimum of 3 years in business. When I was talking to Luis, it's preferable that it's 5 years, but 3 years they will consider. And the 3-year loss ratio must be less than 40%. So both coverage and limits are tailored to what these specific school bus contractors need, right? And while carriers are exiting this market, we are fully committed to it and to the agents who are in this space and who are chasing the business. From what I've seen thus far, this being a newer program, we want to continue to learn from our agents as well, right? So what are you guys hearing in the marketplace? What are your needs? How can we continue to evolve this program to best fit what you guys need in the marketplace, and how can we become even more competitive in the market? So if you want to get rolling with school bus insurance solutions, think Luis Higgins and think SBIS School Bus Insurance Solutions. All right, so rounding out our transportation programs is True Transport Insurer, or TTI, which plays in the specialty transportation space. This program director is Jim Burkhead out of our Philadelphia office. So TTI is a trusted leader in this niche. So what does specialty transportation exactly mean, right? That's the golden question. So they primarily deliver solutions and programs for owner operators and have been doing this for over 20 years. So there's a handful of coverages, main types of coverages for their fleets that are within the appetite. So those coverages include physical damage, non-trucking liability, occupational accident, which we like to call OCAC, motor truck cargo, and general liability. And if you're not familiar with OCAC, or occupational accident coverage, it is a solution for independent contractors that provides disability, AD&D, and accident and medical coverages, functioning in a similar way to workers' compensation. One thing to really highlight about our TTI program is our True Advantage system. So what is our True Advantage system? It allows us to take the workload. It allows us to do the heavy lifting for you guys on your behalf. So we automate and manage the admin process from start to finish, which is an enormous time saver, which is huge for everyone on this call, right? We want to think of ways, how do we get more prospects in our pipeline? How do we, get more seats at the table? Like, there's only so much time in the day, right? So this is more time back to you, and it's more time for you to prospect new business opportunities. One thing when I was talking to Jim that he wanted me to hone in on, and he says he gets this question on a daily basis, and I get some of these questions floated my way too, is monoline auto liability, right? So TTI at this time, maybe in the future potentially, but right now, we are not a solution for primary or monoline auto liability, excuse me. So I need to pick it up a little bit. So that's a question we get all the time. However, this program does offer a host of solutions for other specialty transportation niches. This includes moving and storage, which includes full package coverage in all 50 states. Freight brokers and forwarders. These are folks who link up truckers with shippers to move cargo from point A to point B. And lastly, occupational accident for the gig economy for people like rideshare drivers. Our programs enable us to quote same day or 48 hours on small fleet business, which is a huge advantage to you guys. So again, if you're thinking about TTI trucking, If you have opportunities in this space, think Jim Burkhead and True Transport Insure. Let's keep pressing forward. I'm a little bit behind on time, my team is telling me, so we'll keep on moving. So HAB Pro, property insurance. So, this program is led up by Joe Mossbrook in our Philadelphia office. HAB Pro is one of our most popular programs, right? Everyone is always hunting for a great property program, great property product, and this is one of them. So HAB Pro is a one-stop shop for habitational risks. They offer ground-up insurance solutions for a wide variety of non-coastal apartments and condos around the country, meaning that you don't need to run around and piece together coverages for your clients from multiple different carriers, right? We want HAB Pro to run on all that for you guys. HAB Pro is one of the most in-demand providers of package and monoline property coverage for the habitational space specifically. I know from our end that our HAB Pro team sees some of the most submissions from all of our programs, and they're doing a lot of digging, and that just shows how much interest we get from our agent partners. This is a non-admitted market that writes Class A and B risks across a variety of classes. So what does A and B mean? So firstly, they look at buildings built 1985 or newer, right? They can consider older than 85, but it needs to be fully gut rehab down to the studs. And to really round out the underwriting, they'll look at things like crime reports, wind and hail reports, Google reviews about the property, etc., to qualify the specific risk as A or B. So HAB Pro also writes all different types of habitational risks across a wide variety of occupancy, including multifamily homes, mixed use, student housing, HUD, and much more, right? You can find out a full list on the website down at the bottom left. So a few things more about the appetite. They offer up to $50 million per location with no per building TIV cap. HAB Pro is available nationwide except for a few states, Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, and Louisiana. And also the boroughs of New York and Long Island are also excluded. So when you are appointed with HAB Pro, you get countrywide authority. While our competition is kind of pivoting or scaling back from this space, HAB Pro is growing in this market, and we're helping agents win a lot of big accounts in this space, and we're hungry to grow even more. So if you have a book of business in the habitational space or in the HAB property space, or if you're really looking for a partner that can help take your HAB book to the next level, HAB Pro has a deep bench of HAB experts standing by. And when you think of habitational property, think of Joe Mossbrook and our HAB Pro program. All right, last program before a tiny break, I believe. So GIG, Community Association Insurance, which is a great segue because we cross-sell this GIG program with our HAB Pro product. This program is ran by Eric Gifford out of our Florida office, and I actually got to spend time with Eric in Florida this week, and his program is a well-oiled machine. It's truly amazing how it works. I was so impressed, kind of jealous at how automated it was and how it just ran. It's crazy, but crazy good. But GIG is the name you need to know for community association directors and officers and crime coverage. They're the go-to market not only for condo associations, but all types of community associations like HOAs, co-ops, timeshares, and others. So their broad D&O coverage policy form, which protects directors, officers, employees, volunteers, and the association at large, has positioned us as a leader in this niche. They also have various crime policies, which can be issued on a loss sustained or discovery form basis to best meet the needs of you and the needs of your client. So backed by an A++ rated carrier, which is a fantastic carrier for us. One of the best things you'll love about this is kind of what I referenced at the beginning is the Gig Agent portal available right on their website where you can quote, bind, and issue policies 24/7. Truly, truly amazing. And as all of you know, these portals are such a value add and allow you to get what you need and your clients, as quickly and on your own timeline, right? 24/7, all day, every day. Before I move on, I also want to mention, GIG has a sister program called GIG Professional Programs, which is the authority on professional liability coverage for lawyers in the state of Florida. And once that program, gains access to other states, it's just going to blow up. I spent time with Roz, who runs that program, also in Florida. And again, it's a tight ship. And once they get more state capabilities, it's, the sky's the limit. So if either GIG or GIG Professional program sounds like a fit for you, or as a bolt-on sell to your habitational prospects and insureds, please reach out to Eric Gifford and Roz Taco, Think GIG and Think GIG Professional programs. Okay, so a little trivia break. We're at the halfway point of our program overview. We've covered a lot so far. Thanks for hanging in. I know a lot of you guys and gals want those TVs, so stay with me. We'll show a multiple choice question on the screen. You'll have a few seconds to answer, and we'll reveal how you all did and reveal how good of a teacher I am. So, Mary Kate, can you please load the first trivia question? All right, which NSM program is designed for nonprofits and social services? Is it HAB Pro? Is it GIG? Is it SBIS? Is it CPS, Care Provider Services? So, all right. So, gave you guys some time, got 50 plus votes, 90% said CPS. That is correct. I'll take 90%, that's an A. Let's move on to the next question. All right, HAB Pro protects which types of apartment and condo risks? Buildings built in 1985 or newer, older buildings with gut rehabs, subsidized housing, student housing, mixed use, or all of the above? All right, all of the above. 79%, not great. I could have done better there, but yeah, 79% of you, great job, 37 votes. All right, final question. A little off topic, but I had to throw some basketball trivia in here. Which Division I men's college basketball team has won the most national championships? And yes, so Kentucky, North Carolina, UCLA, or Baylor. My beloved Baylor Bears are definitely losing this, so I'm sorry for the three of you that have voted, but I appreciate the votes there. And let's see. So actually, it is UCLA. So I know North Carolina, kind of maybe a trick question, but yes, those of you who voted UCLA are correct. They have won the tournament 11 times behind Kentucky with, or behind them is Kentucky with 8. Okay, so that was a fun little trivia, fun little break. But we move forward. So the next program, Mary Kate, if you don't mind changing the next slide to our sports and wellness program, kind of a perfect segue on the sports front. Thank you very much. This program is led by Jim Guerra out of our Philadelphia office for fitness, sports, and entertainment and recreation insurance. So we like to say if you can play it, we can cover it. So sports and wellness has an extremely broad appetite, as you can see, and it's certainly not limited to traditional accounts. They write a lot of gyms, franchise fitness centers, youth sports, camps, and yoga studios. They also write up a lot of accounts in the entertainment and recreation space like RV parks, adventure courses, mini golf, and bowling. There's a laundry list of classes that are in their strike zone. I like that, strike zone. Which you can check out on their website. So the program offers admitted and non-admitted options in all 50 states. And this is another program with a broker portal, which is a time saver. It's super beneficial. It's a competitive advantage. This is a state-of-the-art portal that's going to give you live GL and A&H accident and health indications for many of these classes instantly. You'll see real-time pricing indication, which streamlines the submission process significantly. You can also add on property for a full package after you receive those indications. The program also offers abuse coverage, hired and non-owned auto, and umbrella, as well as other standard coverages. So this is a particular particularly competitive space, we love it because we have the expertise and the offerings to give you an edge to help you win. So when you think about these accounts, when you think about the sports and wellness industry and your opportunities, think about Jim Guerra and think about our sports and wellness insurance program. Moving along to our all comp program, the next two programs are our workers' compensation programs, also spearheaded by Jim Guerra out of our Philadelphia offices. So all comp is your one-stop shop for workers' compensation. The program was named a top 10 workers' comp provider by Manage HR magazine, which is, we're super proud of. They cover more than 300 approved class codes, so you can come to us and get fast quality coverage for all of your accounts across the country. You can check out the most popular classes we write here on the right-hand side, including schools and social service organizations, transportation and towing, healthcare, behavioral health, and many more. You might have noticed that many of these classes align with our other specialty programs, and that's by design, so we can parlay all comp into as many deals that we have coming in the door as possible. All comp has a network of carrier partners, including having an exclusive underwriting pen. The majority of the appetite shown here is fit for what we can write in-house. And then outside of that, all comp also has 20 wholesale markets exclusive to them for varying niches of business outside of their underwriting pen. So, what I like to tell our agents is, there might be some crossover as far as direct markets that you guys have access to, but we're definitely going to leave no stone unturned. And if you guys don't have any direct markets for workers' compensation, all comp's a great partner for you to get access to, again, 20 plus comp markets for a variety of class types of businesses. We also know that time is money, and our team is super, super responsive. They provide fast quotes within, they can do it within 24 hours pending a full submission. So our team knows the ins and outs of the workers' comp industry, and they can save you a ton of time and spare you the unnecessary runaround by going to 5 different markets yourself or 10 different markets yourself. We can be that one-stop shop. We can be that go-to place that makes sure that no stone is unturned when hunting for carrier possibilities, carrier options. So when any workers' compensation accounts cross your desk, you really owe it to yourself to give us a call, give All Comp a call. When you think of workers' compensation, think Jim Guerra and think All Comp. Transitioning to our other workers' comp program and the oldest program that we have, our staffing lines program, work comp for temp agency, again, also spearheaded by Jim Guerra out of Philadelphia. This is a separate program from all comp because within the staffing industry, there are different carriers and agents, and overall, it's just a different niche. So staffing lines, again, is our longest running program at NSM and was launched back in 1996, been doing it a long time. They offer workers' comp for temporary, permanent, and outplacement agencies. So staffing lines has multiple underwriting pens and many other wholesale carrier markets, a similar strategy that we have built for all comp, so we can be a solution for all of your staffing accounts. There's a few key differentiators about the program. They have dollar first, loss sensitive, and captive offerings. They offer a pay-as-you-go program with flexible payment options. They turn around fast quotes with 24 hours, just like our all-comp team, pending a full submission. Very important, full submission. Program is available in all states. So if you have staffing accounts of any kind, you need a very specialized partner, and Staffing Lines is that specialized partner for you. So when you think about workers' comp for temporary, permanent, and outplacement agencies, think Jim Guerra, think Staffing Lines. All right, plugging and chugging. So next up is PUA, standing for Professional Underwriters Agency for Professional Liability Insurance. And this program is led by Sandip up in our Chicago office. So PUA, or what I like to say PUA, and we all like to say PUA, primarily focuses on professional liability for architects and engineers. They also have lines of business for design build contractors and construction managers. So if you work with any of these clients, you know that they face very complex, high stakes risks in their line of business day to day. Our PUA team has over 100 years of underwriting expertise. Think about that, 100 years of underwriting expertise, and will assist you in navigating the most complex risks. And this is an expertise and you know, the experience you have with PUA is something you won't find anywhere else. They write on admitted A+15 paper through Arch Insurance Group, but they also have relationships with dozens of other carriers for risks that don't fit into, you know, that Arch bucket. So what's important there is, you know, they want to find a solution for you guys, right? They want to find a solution for the most challenging and complex professional liability risks. You know, we call that PUA market solutions, right? Let's find a way to write the business, not find a way to decline the business, right? So it's available for almost every conceivable risk across our key classes. Another thing that sets them apart from the competition is their very robust risk management resources, including unlimited contract review services and a loss prevention hotline to help avoid those claims and mitigate future damages. PUA is also big on education, kind of like what we're doing right now. They have PUA University, where they host quarterly webinars for design and construction professionals on some of the most pressing risk management topics and industry trends. There's a full library of those on-demand webinars on their website, so please go check them out. You can also have you or your insured sign up, so you're invited to those future webinars and you're notified accordingly. So be sure to check that out online. It's something you don't want to miss. So I can't stress their expertise enough. Sandip has a tremendous team and he does things right. PUA is a great solution for accounts in this space and brings a lot to the table. Again, we're trying to find ways to write business, even if it's outside of our primary carrier partner. So when you think professional liability for architects and engineers, think Sandip, think PUA. So Shield. This is the last program we're going to touch on. Thank you for sticking it out. I think I'm running okay on time. Want to save some time for Q&A. So this program is led by Rob Anderson, and he leads the charge for us out in our Palm Desert, California office. So Shield truly offers superior insurance for many types of commercial and residential contractors. This includes the GL, excess liability, inland marine, workers' comp, and the CPPL, the contractor's professional and pollution liability. The coverage is much broader than our competitors, and our competitors tend to have lots of exclusions that our Shield program does not have. So their appetite is very broad, similar to our CPS program, you know, over 50 plus classes covered. And this includes some of the things you see on the right-hand side, right? You know, Shield has A-rated carrier partners and exclusive carrier partners and an exclusive carrier partnership, with Nationwide for small to medium-sized contractors. So, you know, important to note there, if you want to see the Nationwide paper, if you want to see the Nationwide product, the only way to get that is coming through Shield. Shield offers quick quality service with competitive commissions, which we all love to hear. If you're taking note, just be sure to jot down insurancerater.com, another program of ours that has another online platform where you can rate, quote, and bind accounts in minutes. No additional Accord or supplemental applications are needed, so we're taking more work off y'all's plate, make it easy to do business with us. Premiums are as low as $1,000 and are available in most states. So check us out at shieldins.net down at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You can get registered right online and start taking your book to the next level when it comes to commercial and residential contractor insurance. So when you think about this space, think about contractors, think Rob Anderson, and think Shield. Okay, another trivia break, which I need some water. So that wraps up kind of the overview of some of our hottest niche markets, right? So let's take one more trivia break and then we'll get into some of the things and then start wrapping up the webinar. All right. So, what are the names of our 2 award-winning workers' comp programs? All Comp and Staffing Lines, Winning Comp and Comp Club, Top Comp and Workers' Compensation Station, Care Comp and Staffing Circles. Wow. Okay, that is correct. 88%. We need to push this to 90+%. I want to be a better teacher than this, but yes, All Comp and Staffing Lines is correct. All right, final question. Which Division One women's college basketball team has won the most national championships? Again, my beloved Baylor Bears, the Tennessee Volunteers, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, or the Yukon Huskies? Yeah, sadly, I didn't put any questions in here where Baylor was the winner. So again, appreciate the 6 votes for my Baylor Bears, but yeah, unfortunately, that's not the answer. Correct. So Connecticut, right? 11 natties. Tennessee is actually number 2 with 8, and Baylor is tied for 3rd with 3, along with Stanford and South Carolina. Great job, guys. All right, so that ends the trivia. So a little insight from our agent partners, right? We want to make sure that we shout out some of our agents and show you guys that there are some testimonials on how we work, how we do business, how we want to partner with you guys. And the first one is from Paula Burns from Insurance One, who is someone that I have had the pleasure to work with during my time at NSM and CPS. She runs a super impressive operation over there at Insurance One, and we've been able to build a partnership by providing stability for her and her insureds as the market changes, and at the end of the day, caring for her and her clients on a personal level, right? So we always like to say, care providers, we care, and we truly do. It's something that you can feel when you work not only with CPS, but any of the programs we mentioned here today. Ray out of Acrisure works deeply with our HAB Pro program. One of the things that he loves about our HAB Pro program is that our underwriters and underwriting team thinks outside the box, right? So you'll find this as a common theme around our programs. We want to find ways to do business. We don't want to find ways to say no. We want to find ways to say yes. That's not easy, or that's not to say that we're going to write everything, right? But we always try to find solutions for risks that are in our wheelhouse and that we have a very strong track record of doing successfully. So speed, attention to detail, this is all a big competitive advantage that we offer you guys on the call and our agents throughout the country. Last but certainly not least is Glenn Wilson, EVP at Higginbotham, who works with our P-Way program. Glenn echoes a similar experience as Ray. Glenn comes to us for solutions, relies on our team's expertise that we've built up across all of our programs spanning decades. And, he knows that we're going to get back to him with answers very, very quickly. So we appreciate those testimonials from our agent partners. And kind of moving on to some of the last slides, how to partner with us, and we can help you win more business at the end of the day. So, why do I say that? We have the expertise, right? So we have niche expertise. We see these opportunities in these specific niches day in and day out. It's what we live, it's what we eat, it's what we breathe every day. And that's something to, that's something that holds weight and takes note in the marketplace, right? We have designated underwriting teams for you guys to build relationships with and to help you grow and win more business. We have a commitment to service standards, and I know from being in your shoes that turnaround times, communication, it's all very highly important, right? A quick no sometimes can be just as good as a quote. And the quick communication, the developing of relationships, all that's going to do is help us learn from each other and help us grow to new heights. So, a few other things, we save time and get competitive pricing quickly. We have tremendous carrier partners. We're looking to add to our stable of carriers, again, to provide you guys more options, more programs, more solutions. And we also have the best in class claims advocacy and risk management to help you guys, you know, have those conversations with your insurers on how to mitigate losses in the future and be that trusted advisor for them to make yourself even more sticky long term. So our appointment process, this is something that we need to touch on just real quick. It's important to note that all of our programs have different strategies when it comes to their appointments and their distribution. So there's not a blanket appointment that unlocks the doors for all of our programs. Some of our programs are open broker setup, and some of our programs are closed with activity and production requirements. There's a vetting process to get started with them. So I can dive into those details with you offline, but that is important to note because, although you may be working with one program right now, it doesn't necessarily mean you automatically have access to another one of our programs, right? We want there to be some type of accountability, right? This is a two-way partnership. Nobody likes to waste time. Nobody likes to practice. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page with the specific programs that you guys are interested in. That kind of wraps it up, right? I'm a little behind on time. I bled into the Q&A, but definitely want to, answer questions that you guys have lobbed in the questions box. I'll start with a few popular questions that we get asked. So, for CPS, for church insurance, do you offer liability coverage for priests, teachers, and volunteers? So absolutely. So the PL, the professional liability, is included in our package, along with the GL, along with the abuse. The primary limits are 1 million, 3 million. It's actually three separate 1 million, 3 million towers, which is fantastic. And then we have umbrella that goes up to 5 million. Let's see here. So again, some of these, I know we're crunch on time, so there's a ton of questions. I appreciate the questions. If I don't get to all of these, please know that I will in the next few days. So just scanning these. HAB Pro, is the 1985 cutoff hard, or is there some flexibility there if it's close? Great question. So the 1985 date is a hard date, right? From what I've heard from our HAB Pro team. However, we want to have those conversations. If there's a story to tell, you're asking if there's flexibility if it's close. I'm not sure what you mean by if it's close, but yeah, I mean, let's have the conversation. It won't hurt to have those conversations and to see if it makes sense, right? But generally speaking, 1985 is a hard cut date. And again, we will consider older properties, but they need to be gut rehabbed down to the studs. Is the care provider services programs admitted? Good question. So we have both admitted and non-admitted options. We have two carrier partners we have the pen for, one of them being Arch and the other being Guard. So again, both admitted and non-admitted options. Great question. How do we get a quote? How do we get a login to quote at insurancerater.com for Shield? Great question. What I can do for you, I can't see specifically who lobbed these in until afterwards, but I'll connect you with the Shield team. So I'll connect you with Rob, Fatima, and Andres, who can help you walk through how to get all set up for Shield. No problem. Do you offer standalone sexual abuse and molestation for churches? Good question. So we're not a market for monoline abuse. None of our programs are. We do not have a product for that at this time. The abuse will be included in the package product. So we would want to look at the full package and the abuse would be included there. When will the ATP program be able to accept submissions again? Fantastic question. I know we're getting hit with this a lot. Krista is doing a great job with her team and the new carrier partner trying to get up and running as quickly as possible. So I do not have a hard date, launch date, but like I said in the presentation, we're thinking about doing a relaunch, potentially ATP specific webinar to talk about the new carrier, the new underwriting guidelines, et cetera. but be looking out for that information soon. So I'll do a couple more questions and then just want to touch on this last slide for a second. So for ATP, do you cover both for-profit and nonprofit addiction treatment facilities? Yes. So and for CPS too, right? So we will consider for-profit exposures. With ATP, want to be cautious of the carrier transition and some things that may change. But up to this point, yes, for-profit and nonprofit can be considered um, in the program. TTI, just want to harp on this one more time. Do you offer auto liability? So I know we went over that multiple times in the TTI slide. So no, right? So when you think trucking, when you think TTI, not a solution for primary auto liability or monoline auto liability at this time. I didn't get to all the questions in the questions box. I just want to be respectful of your time. I have about 2 minutes left. If I did not answer your question, or even if I did answer your question, I will follow up with you guys individually, separately in an email. Once I get the list from our marketing team, from Mary Kate, I will be doing that within the next few days or early next week at the latest, right? So I appreciate everyone's attendance. I just wanted to hit on this slide real quick. The internet is so powerful. Social media is so prevalent in our daily lives. I have accounts on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Probably going to add Facebook with the same tag, Joe Bats Specialty, to kind of hit on my prior life as an athlete. So the follower count is pretty meek because these accounts are just getting started. So appreciate the support. From what you can expect on these channels is informative content, how you can work with us, what we expect, possibly some like major changes in appetite, stuff like that. I just think it's important. Short form videos are becoming very popular, if not are already popular. And I want to stay connected with you guys. It's just another form of connection and building a relationship. I think it can be fun. I think long term, my goal is to bring you guys on to the platforms to hear from you, right? And to do some type of collaborative content. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be engaging. I don't think our insurance industry really has stuff like this. So give me a follow, give me a shout. And outside of email, call, text, another way for you guys to reach me. So I have 30 seconds left. I just wanted to take the time to say that from me and our program directors and our underwriting teams, we truly value the partnership. Again, I'm not standing here and we're not in existence if you guys aren't here with us. And we want to continue to build on your success and help you guys grow your books even more. And that's what this industry is all about. That's what we're all about is our partnership and helping each other. So thanks again. Shot clock's at 0. I'm out of time. If there's any additional questions, please reach out to me. And just thanks again for registering and signing on. We'll talk to you soon.